I want to get you ready for a new place for the world to pick your pocket so that you can get in front of it. Isn't it seem like we're going through a season right now where every time you turn around, one thing after another is getting more expensive? And as we're getting stretched financially, I think it brings a lot more stress and tries to steal the joy of life. I think it's great when we can take a look a little further down the road at places where expenses are bound to increase. And I want to talk to you about an incredibly unpopular subject, sewers. Okay, and I drink living water. We talk about a lot of different things, and when we entered into this years ago, I never thought that I would be venturing into sewage systems with you, but that's what we're going to talk about for a few minutes. Now, by the way, no matter where you are, if you just take a look at that quote-unquote utility bill that's come in over the course of the last couple of years, you're going to see that there has been a relative and dramatic increase in the cost of sewer water. And I want to tell you that that dramatic increase has only just begun, and explain why so that you can get in front of it. People have a bit of a misconception about water. They think, hey, there's a relative amount of water and it's going through my tap and it's going down the drain, it's going through some water processing facility, and it's going back into groundwater or a river or an ocean, or in some cities literally right back into water supply. But this is the issue. And that is, as the chemicals, nano and microplastics, and believe it or not, prescription medications build up in that wastewater, because listen guys, there's only one pipe. We've got all of the horrible and nasty elements that are plastic-based, that are coming out of washing machines where plastic-based clothing is being washed and being swept into drains, where people are using incredibly invasive, forever chemical-based cleaning materials, where agriculture has been leaning super hard on herbicides and pesticides that have got incredible impacts to wildlife and to humans when it comes to cancer, the ability to be able to reproduce, even to have children, right? So this is all kind of coming to a head right now, where nanoplastic elevations are transpiring, and where extra pressure is being put on these private utilities, which I'm going to just give you a heads up. What really is going to happen in a lot of major urban centers is the cost of dealing with this as a private utility is going to overwhelm local supplies and budgets, and private companies are going to start to come in and take over this process, and with it, huge increases in expense, and huge increases in expense even in the hands of public utilities, because what these guys are trying to deal with right now, how do they separate all of this garbage that's now collecting in the sludge of the utility companies all over the world, that's laden with forever chemicals, with phthalates, nano and microplastics, and with the residue of all of the prescription medications that people are taking on such a regular basis that they can be measured in sewage water supply. The downstream impacts of a number of the residues of these medications, some of them have pretty far-reaching effects. And they're putting these sewer utilities in a place that they've never really been before. I was fascinated by a study that was done at the University of Illinois, where they started taking a look at sewage sludge, and I never really contemplated this before, but I didn't realize that what the water utilities have done, time out of mind, is they've collected this separation of what used to be primarily organic sludge, and they've delivered it into the hands of farmers, and those farmers have used it to try and offset soils with organic materials that would be able to rejuvenate soil. This is the problem, is when you start taking sewage waste in sludge that is loaded with chemicals and plastics and pesticides and with pharmaceuticals, and you push it into the soil for the production of crops, grains, animal feeds, all of the rest of the things that people rely upon, then there's a direct transfer of those things that are building up in the soil into the fruits, the vegetables, the grains, all of these different things that are being harvested, and guys, are coming right back at us. So we got to be wiser about how we deal with water and wastewater. It's one of the reasons that we created the I Drink Living Water system. We spent years focusing on all of the different kinds of water management solutions to make sure that you had clean water. But one of the major concerns that we had was that water purification system needed to be zero plastic based. It needed to remove 99.9% of all of the contaminants. It needed to be able to be sustainable. And we had to create a way that you could store water, transport water, and remineralize water without adding extra elements and loads into it that would attack your health, right? One of the things that it does, though, it's interesting because we're kind of in a situation with this where 1 gallon that goes into the system produces almost exactly a gallon coming out of the system, but that gallon that you get back minus maybe a half of an ounce of the impurities, the chemicals, the plastics, all the garbage that you just do not want to drink, it's going to put you in a situation where that can be remineralized, and you know that you've got something healthy to drink, but you haven't wasted gallons of water like filtration and RO systems do, sometimes wasting 3 to 12 gallons of water for every gallon that they would produce for your home or your family. And also, guys, they're plastic. I think any of us that are interested in the environment, we've got to be a little bit more scrupulous. We've got to look deeper into things, because there are people, and I see them on social media all the time, that are saying, hey, this is fantastic for your health. Take this, try this Baja salt, whatever it happens to be. And it's all in plastic bags. It's all delivered in plastic. We've got to take charge of the systems that cleanse our water and turn it into something that's really healthy for us to use without wasting it. Because as prices skyrocket for dealing with these waste materials, we're going to have to start making different approaches to how we deal with cleaning water, bathing in water, how we use our water for our lawns, because wastewater is going to turn into a huge economic burden, and we won't be able to waste water anymore. Anyway, that's the lowdown on it. What I wanted to do is invite you, if you're interested in reducing wastewater, getting the chemicals, micro, nanoplastics out of your water, making them safe for you, your family, your sphere of influence, or even to create a business or a water hub, then make sure and hit the link below. You'll be able to purchase an I Drink Living Water kit that's going to give you a program, a class, help you through some of the lifestyle changes, and put you on an incredible track with regard to having pure, clean, mineralized water to support your family and to avoid all of the waste that's going on all around us right now. Because guys, something's got to break, right? And we want to make sure that we're taking good, educated approaches to changing our outcomes, okay? We want to discover root causes and repair the root issues instead of being in a situation where we put Band-Aids everywhere and hope that things get better. I just want to tell you, this is not getting better. It's getting worse and worse and worse. So let's get in front of it and be cognizant about what's going on in relationship to waste. As far as our friends at the universities, they're making a whole series of different kinds of recommendations. But one of the problems that they've got right now is that taking these nano microplastics, forever chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, and medications out of this sludge really comes down to you, okay? We've just got to start living in a different way. And we've got to start asking people around us, why are you doing that? Is there a way of doing this sustainably? Could you give that to me not in plastic? Do you have any paper bags that I could put my groceries in? Would you mind putting my groceries in the bag that I brought? I know it all sounds small, but guys, it really, really, really adds up. And together we can get better information on how we drink living water, and how the new project that we're launching, WaterX, the tokenization of water assets, is going to fund and assist AI development around the world, assist NGOs in getting clean water into the hands of people that are literally dying of thirst, and helping our friends in First Nations that are in places where they've had water abundance, but immense struggles with regard to the purity of that water. We're on a mission, prayerfully, to help change the world, and we'd love for you to join in with us. So hit the link below, start with your kit or with a consultation. We're going to be super excited to talk to you, and if you've got just general questions, cwo@idrinklivingwater.com, okay? Like, link, and subscribe, and thanks for listening to us about the ever-changing world of water.